What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Ferris here. Today we're going to talk about why is Bitcoin dropping. Another day, another drop. As I've been saying, I feel like I'm one of the only honest YouTubers who want to talk about price drops. Except a few. There's a few good ones like Snipers Tube, which I love that guy. That guy's good. He knows what he's talking about. But I'm not here to feed you with the shit you want to hear. I'm here to feed you with the shit you should hear and listen to. And for anyone who is willing to listen, go ahead. 100 viewers. I know that's not a lot, but I'm sure this video will get a lot of views once what I think is going to happen happens, and people are like, wow, he was right. And that's how it usually goes. So we're just waiting for some viewers to come in. If you guys are watching the stream after the fact, just make sure to understand that I'm waiting for some more people to come in. We're going to talk about why Bitcoin's dropping again, reiterating some points that I stated on the last live stream and what to expect as you approach the markets and how you can make money trading cryptocurrencies in an up or down market. I try to push valuable resources to people instead of just nonsense. I'm looking at the stock market as well, which is following a similar pattern to Bitcoin in my eyes. But we'll see what happens. We're just going to wait for some viewers. I know we got one viewer in here. We're just going to wait for some more people. But the funny thing is here, if you look at Bitcoin and the stock market, which is this S&P 500, you can see they kind of had a similar pattern here. I mean, they had a massive run here. Okay, let's get rid of this here so we can show. They had a massive run here, very similar, and then obviously Bitcoin is more volatile, traded 24/7, but a massive drop around the same time frame, early February. We get that massive drop here around the same time frame, early February. We bounce up, do a double top, and this is where it starts acting very close to how the S&P is acting. We go up and we double top here, okay, basically almost similar, and then we start dropping down very quickly. We get a little price action here, a little bottom. Something happens here, boom, and we come back up and try to test that, and that's where we are here. And it's a very similar type of price action compared to how Bitcoin's moving, which is kind of cool. What's up, Alex? What's up, Laura? Hey, Laura, aren't you in TechBuds? What's up? Sorry, I'm just not in the TechBuds chat right now. It's just too much for me. I guess I'm causing fear. I don't get it. But anyway, let's talk about that P-top. If you're in a crypto-related stock, you should. Oh wow. Yeah, that was a pump and dump. I'm sorry to hear that. But let's be honest here. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't have my money in there. I play at high caps. What's up, Laura? So, basically, we're going to talk about Bitcoin and everything and what you should expect. It's a pretty obvious bear flag. I know a lot of people don't like to hear negative information. That's fine. But I'm just saying what's the potential is going to happen. Bitcoin's volume is extensively low compared to previous rallies. As you can see, the volume here in February, you had one huge bar right here to start this rally, okay? You had consecutive huge buying coming in. That's no longer there. That's no longer happening, and you have more selling happening and going on here, here, and here with very little dip buy volume. Okay, Laura, you should have sold it. You should have sold it, Laura. I'm not gonna lie to you, but you should have sold it. It's just a part of the game. We all have those trades. But let's go on and talk about this. So basically, cryptocurrency is not even being used as cryptocurrency. This is a big point I want to state. A lot of people were haggling me for saying that the transactions were this and that and yada yada. I'm just saying it's not fair value market price, and I think another cryptocurrency is definitely going to surpass it. But yeah, I believe Bitcoin is going to retest this low again because it failed. It didn't break 10K. And the 12 and 26 EMA are pulling down. Yeah. That's what you got to do. And you can see the 12 and 26 EMA right here just crossed yesterday, which is what I was going over in the last live stream, and it's pushing the price down. I mean, I was even saying this, it was at 8,900, and I was like, it's going to definitely retest these, and you can go watch the live stream. I have no need to BS anyone. It had 8,900, retested, and dropped. And the one thing about cryptocurrency is you have to really trust yourself. You have to really trust yourself. Yeah, Alex, I agree. XRP is the best currency because it has a use case. I don't think it's worth what it's playing at right now, but that offers a huge buying opportunity. So we'll get to that in a second. But Bitcoin is just a perfect specimen right here of a bear flag. And we're going to Google a bear flag here just to show you. Not the bear flag revolt. That's for another day. If we go to a bear flag right here, okay, very, very simple pattern. I know my screen's a little messed up here, so let me clear that up for you. 4 hours. We zoom in here. This is Bitcoin. 4-hour chart. Very, very, very similar price action here. Strong move down. Flagpole is this. This is the flagpole right here. Okay. So you can see we could even draw a line to make it almost exactly the same. A flagpole right there. Bear flag, further price action down. Now, how do you go about playing this? You can play the ranges. You can go long and go short. You just got to stay patient, honestly. Trading cryptocurrency, I've had my tests of patience very, very much. I've been right a lot of the times and not made money, which is probably the worst feeling ever. I'd rather be dead wrong and lose money than being right and not making money. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I mean, like, if you're right, you got to trust yourself. You got to put a stop loss and leave it be. Don't even check it for another day or two, because cryptocurrency takes a long time to move. The stock market is a lot faster, as you can see. You'll have a huge move in the indexes really quickly, very quickly. And I'm actually short on Facebook, Boeing, and Netflix. I got a Facebook here at 187 yesterday, and that's why I use JAFX, and I try to recommend it. My buddy Richie told me about it. See, Laura, your word right there. Highlight the word hope and get that out of your vocabulary when you trade. Hope is an essence of let's put the problem off to another day. Hoping doesn't solve problems. So I've been trading cryptocurrency since November. I've known about the cryptocurrency run. I've known about cryptocurrency since 2014, when a couple buddies were buying some illegal things on the internet. So I knew about that, never really invested into it. I love the technology, but never invested my time into it because I was in school. And yeah, and then I made money on this easy run, and I never got caught up in anything, and paid off a lot of my credit card debt because I did make foolish mistakes with a credit card, and while I was in college, and paid it off. Paid off over, I think, $16,000 in debt this year from $22,000, which was just extensive. I have about $1,000 of credit card debt. I know I got myself into big shitter when I was just messing around. Anyway, basically, let's be honest here. Cryptocurrency is starting to slowly die, and it looks exactly like the NASDAQ bubble. It looks exactly like the NASDAQ bubble. Okay. And I know my opinion is not the biggest opinion out there, and people don't respect it because it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened, and I get it. People want to hear goats going green, but I mean, I can't lie to people saying that there's a chance it's going to go up, because I mean, if Bitcoin was going to go up, it would have broken 10K. There's just not the buying support. Let's be honest here, guys. Look, tell me the similarity. Like, this is so similar. I think on the weekly it's even clearer, and we'll clear the drawings here. It was a different chart. Give me a minute. Okay. So we'll use these arrows to correlate with this chart right here. Okay? I'll get a big picture here so you guys can see. We can discuss this. Okay, give me a minute. Zoom in. So you can see, I know it's a little blurry, but you guys can get the point here. We have a huge drop here, okay? And then if we go to the daily, you can see literally a double top, which is what happened right here. It double topped right here. I mean, it's going to be different because cryptocurrency is traded so much, okay? But, you know, we got the huge drop, double top, another drop, a little like V shape right here. Nice little V shape. Boom. Drops down, kind of bottoms, fools everyone, okay? People start to come back in here, fools you, okay? Which is right here. Come up, and we drop further, hitting a new low, which is where I think we're going. We're going to hit a new low. We'll get another bounce, and then we'll start to flatten out around $4,000 to $5,000. And then Bitcoin will start to take another trend up. Okay, and you could see how this happened from 1999, 2000, so March 2000, same time frame, which is, I mean, I don't think that's a coincidence when we're discussing cryptocurrencies or any type of bubble. The time frame is always the start of summer, or going into spring, start of summer, is when these bubbles start to pop. It's always winter when people are making a ton of money. You could see March 10th, 2000, few months ahead of time with Bitcoin, and then you have this little double top here, and then everything just starts falling. You get that little bounce, drops to a new low. And that's where I think we're going, a new low. So it's very similar to the NASDAQ bubble in a sense of people were very confident. You know, everyone was buying cryptocurrency. I mean, let's be honest, guys. Everyone was. And I mean, what I'm saying is not the popular opinion, and that's why I get dislikes. That's why people don't view my live streams as much as they did before when I was bullish on Bitcoin, because everyone was bullish, and people are still bullish, and that's cool. But I just want to inform you that the chart pattern isn't there. I mean, we have, let's use these arrows. 1 failure at making a new high. 2 failures at making a new high. Okay, 3 failures at making a new high. And what have we done? Let's list that. I'm trying to just show proven fact. This is where the price went. No theory, no speculation. Okay, so we have a new low right there. And we have another. We got a low, the body. Okay, right there, you see that body? Then we have these bodies of these daily candles closing below these bodies, okay? And if you know how to read candlesticks, it's just the language of the market. It's very easy to read technicals to understand emotions. You could see the bodies of these candles, yes, they did go lower, and they hit a new low. Charts don't lie, you're correct. And we closed a lot of these daily candles below that. That's not a good sign. Regardless if it didn't hit that low, that's like a fool's, you know, a fool would think, okay, it's not going to go any lower. And now we're engulfing the entire candle, okay? We're engulfing, get a doji, okay, a hanging man. This is called the hanging man, and this is why I suggest you read books, because I don't, like, I've seen it in group chats where people just believe everything they hear from another person, and I've been there, and I'm just trying to speak the truth here. Hanging man right here. That is a hanging man. You get that nice pump, okay, regardless of the, you know, uptrend. Get a little uptrend. You get a little hanging man. That's a hanging man. And then a huge body. And that's it. Yeah, and exactly. But the thing is, Laura, you live and learn, but you live and lose your money if you don't learn quick enough. So yeah, that's the one negative thing. But, you know, where do I see opportunity in the cryptocurrency market? I see it in Ripple. I've been the biggest fan, and I watched the Alex Combe or Alex something kid, blonde, like he has like the Justin Bieber hair from like 2012, something like that. He talks about Ripple, and he knows his shit, but I still think Ripple is very overvalued, compared to what it's gonna do. And I will be buying Ripple once it comes down to about 50 cents to 25 cents in this range. I think it's a great investment. Because Ripple is going to be used by banks. It's going to be used. Again, use case, okay? Let's be honest. If oil wasn't being used in your car, would you buy any of it? Maybe to heat your house up, but now that's worthless because you don't use oil as a source of heat anymore. You're just using it to fuel your car. So, not you, Alex. Another Alex. But let's just be honest here. We got to find use cases for these things or they're going to lose value. So Ripple, I think, is a very valuable asset. I think it's going to be a very good coin. You just type Alex in on YouTube and you'll find him. XRP Alex, and you'll find him. You know, I'm short biased on Ethereum, but Ethereum just likes to take a sweet ass time to break down, and I just wait. See, hey, Ronnie, you can't pick and choose sides, man. Everything follows Bitcoin. As Bitcoin drops, Litecoin will. I just feel like a lot of these coins are too overvalued for what they bring to people. The decentralization and everything could be beaten out. There's gonna be a new coin. I'm telling you, there's gonna be a new coin that's gonna come out that can destroy Ethereum with smart contracts. They'll destroy Litecoin and Bitcoin with speed of transaction, and will be innovative to where it will continue to adjust and get smarter through artificial intelligence, and continue to build and kill contracts that were flawed and unreward people. Because if you guys aren't familiar on the Ethereum blockchain, if you screw with like a block or something, you can steal a lot of Ethereum. You won't, like, that's what happened with the Ethereum Classic. There's a lot of flaws, but people just love believing stuff. Yeah, Bitcoin Cash is better, but I don't know if it can hold. And you can see Litecoin doing the same type of trend. That's just a bear flag. That's all it is. It's just a bear flag. You can see this is the line of least resistance. If you guys want a good book to read, Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. People made fun of me for recommending this book. I mean, that's fine. I don't take it personally. Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. Okay. You can see, line of least resistance. This is the line of least resistance, or the line of most resistance, but it's the line of least resistance is pointing down. Every time Litecoin approaches this line, it gets rejected. You can see that with these long wicks. That means the price has reached there, got rejected. So this is like gravity pushing the price down, correct? Yes. So gravity pushing the price down, you get a hard rejection there, can't even get there, into a bear flag, will break down and go back to $60. I remember Litecoin right here. I bought Litecoin at like 25 bucks, and I didn't hold it because I was broke little kid back then. And the same thing with Bitcoin. We've got about. I suggest you follow UTC time, which is London time. Okay, we're almost about to approach a new hour here, so we got about 5 hours left. You want to see Bitcoin's price action. It's going to start pushing down and hitting new lows once the time frame ends. But you can see, it's just failing. It's failing to hold. And, I mean, once these big guys start dumping, these Winklevoss twins and everyone else starts dumping, it's over. Once these miners are going to be dumping, I mean, they're going to lose all their wealth because they fell into it. And the thing is like, there was one guy who fell for the tulip bubble. Let me look up his name for you guys. This is a great book. Okay, so I'm gonna show you. If you guys don't know what Tulip Mania is, it's the same thing with what Bitcoin's going on. It's beautiful. I love this. I love this because I could see people's ignorance, and literally take advantage of them. And I don't feel bad for them. Tulip Bubble, you ever heard of this? There was someone who fell for this. Very smart. Yeah, you see, short sellers were not prosecuted under these addicts, but their contracts were deemed. So, like, they were so against short selling back then. Ronnie, yeah, I agree. See, Ronnie, thank you. Laura, we'll get to that. We'll get to your thing real quick, and then Ronnie will discuss that. Thank you. I see. Oh, yeah. I mean, I would sell into the spike or wait to see how your GTO coin does, but don't hold cryptocurrencies you know nothing about. So Ronnie, that is something I've been trying to say, and I guess I cut off a lot of ties with people because they think I'm talking crazy. I see a recession underway. I mean, we've literally had the longest bull market to date, or second longest bull market to date, without any real economic growth. Everything's happened under cheap gas, cheap gas, cheap gas, cheap gas. But nope, no one wants to listen to me. A few people want to listen, and that's cool. Yeah, me either, Laura, but I try to help people, but some people, they don't understand. Jackson knows. It's just the fact that we can't hit new highs anymore, and a bull market is when we hit new highs. We hit new highs on a daily. Like, we have not hit a new high on the S&P regardless. And the funny thing is, people are more excited that we came up here than we were when we were hitting new highs here. Like, they're like, oh, everything's fine, or here we're fine, and then it drops and they're panicking. The thing is we're bear flagging again. We didn't. This was a 1 week drop. Okay, that was 1 week, and it took us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excuse me, 800 number. Hello? Hello? Hate these random calls. I mean, someone needs to invent a technology that can, like, just get rid of all these spam callers. Besides the block number. Yeah, Ronnie. So we're in the same boat. We'll congregate together and discuss bear talk. Look at this. Okay, we're hitting new highs every week. And you want to hear the coincidence here? Is that's the same time Bitcoin was hitting new highs every week. Let's look at the pullback here in September. July, we go into July. We get a minor pullback here in September. Same 2 weeks. Oh, no, we don't. We just keep hitting new highs. Let's see the daily. Sometimes I like to see things that aren't really there. So we get a little pullback here on the 25th, which is like the same time period. We get a pullback here, and we just rally, and we rally, and we're following the same type of pattern. Double top, 20th, double top, the 27th. So not on the exact same time frame, because cryptocurrency is traded much faster. And then a double top here, okay, the 13th, about the 5th, because Bitcoin sped up. So as Bitcoin falls, I could see the cryptocurrency, I could see the stock market fall as well. And the bond market is impending a looming recession. We're not bear flying if you look at the bigger picture. Oh shit, that's my trading account. I don't want to put that up there. Let me pull that up. I mean, where do you see us going, though? All right, we'll talk about that. I always like to challenge people if we're not bear flagging. Let me see. Sorry, I'm just trying to pull up the right one where I have it mapped out. Okay, here. I mean, this is a bear flag, like, perfectly, even on the 4 hour. This is the daily, the 4 hour. I mean, we're creating a channel that's rising up. This is to fool bulls. They think it's continuing to rise, and then they get dropped on. We might have one more little Peter and then drop. Yeah, it created a new high. That's the trap, but it failed to even, it failed to hold the new high. I mean, here, it's creating new highs. It would pull back and then create a new high. It's not doing that anymore. And, I mean, dude, the transaction speed, like I was saying before and people were hating on me, is just so slow. And the reason why it's so slow is because no one's mining cryptocurrency anymore. I mean, the miners made their money. The people who invested in cryptocurrency made their money. If they haven't sold, they're stupid. I'm going to be honest. If you bought Bitcoin right here at $200, $300, S&P. If you're talking about the S&P, then we'll get to that. But if you bought Bitcoin here or back here, and you didn't sell it up here, you're dumb. I will consider you dumb because you literally more than like X-tupled your return on investment. Yeah, but we're at hanging man on the daily on Bitcoin. On the S&P, I think we are, I'm not too confident. I'm a trader, and I'm not going to pick sides going bull, bear. I took a long position here, and I made money, and I thought the market was going to go up. But then I realized if we don't break out of this zone right here, which is right here, which is where we topped, then we're going to fail. So we're going to see what's going to happen, and we'll go about that business. But I just can't. The price action is just nothing like the Brexit correction here, where we popped out. We went up here and we traded in this range for about what was this, August to September, Okay, and then we came up and retested. We didn't even retest here. Okay, so we'll see. I mean, crashes and corrections take a while to happen, but I just don't think this is a correction anymore. It's just been going on for too long. Even though we are making higher lows on the wicks, the bodies are closing lower. We got a lower body close there, so we'll see. I'm not too confident in the S&P right now. I'm really not too confident, and the daily is just a little too much. We could see on the weekly. I mean, we're just getting rejected here, so it's gonna take a while. But we couldn't even make it up to 2,800, so we'll see what's gonna happen. I think we're following a similar suit to what was going on back in '08. Now, different thoughts, different things, but very, very similar type price action where we have a massive drop, we get a rally up, and then another massive drop. So I'm anticipating another massive drop soon, and you usually get a huge drop here in May. So it takes time, guys, but I just think there's an impending recession coming in. We've just literally, like, the indexes are up, and regardless of what anyone wants to tell you that bull markets can go on for 20 years, that's just not the case. It's never happened since World War II era. And I'd rather go with the statistics and the facts than talk out of my ass. Because, you know, those type of people, they're going to go short when they see it right to go short. And they don't care about you. Okay? They do not give a shit. So let's just be honest here. May is when times we, you hit those tops here. In the 2000s bubble, we started to dip around this same time frame here. Huge dumps, and we start to fall into September, and then we crash here. You get that crash, you get another crash, you get another crash. So yeah, and I think, see, Ronnie, I feel like we're on the same page. All the Federal Reserve did was post-long a greater recession. The problem was never dealt with here, regardless if CDOs were there or not. They just added more money. They expand and contract, cheap interest rates. I mean, people are borrowing money at record rates. When those interest rates rise, they're not going to be able to afford it. I mean, like, let's be honest. I mean, there's kids and millennials in debt up to their asses. I know kids $80,000 in debt who just graduated in my class of 2018, $80,000 in debt and don't even have a job. Okay, sorry, I was tapping on my table. But let's be honest, guys. We can't bullshit ourselves here. When the bank calls for their money, they're going to call for it, and they don't care. They're not your friends. They will get their money one way or the other, okay? And debt is, obviously, personal debt is the way to enslave yourself in modern society. So let's look at Netflix here. Netflix, great growth company, but has been in debt forever. That Netflix is not profitable at all. Regardless, people are going to argue with me saying Netflix is, everyone uses it, and yes, they do. They do. Now, Netflix had a great growth, but they haven't made any money. What do you want to invest in? You want to invest in things that make you money, correct? And if the company makes money, they're going to offer, in turn, dividends to you. They haven't had a dividend. They haven't had anything like at all to offer investors besides a rising stock price. So we're going to go to that. Here we go. Netflix just runs on record earnings here from 200 all the way up to 338, and it fails. It fails here. I mean, this is like almost a triple top. I consider this a triple top here, and that's why I went short Netflix. I'll show you. I think I'm down right now. See, I'm short Ethereum, 708, short Netflix, 324. So I don't get the perfect prices, but I'm short, and I'm up on Facebook and Boeing. So I let those run, but I don't take huge positions. I'm only betting $300. $300, I'm up about 143. Ethereum short, so we'll see what's happening. But you can see, I mean, a company that is not even profitable yet is trading like crazy. And Netflix is great. I watch Netflix, but do I think it's worth this much with this much debt? I think not. Because once they raise those interest rates, regardless if their debt's private or public, eventually people are going to call for their money. And what's that going to cause? They're going to have to dip into those profits, causing them excuse me, it's going to take longer for them to get to profitability after that. So You could see Netflix just straight up rocketing, a company that doesn't even make money. Great service. I love Netflix. I'm not saying anything's bad, but they're not making money. And if they're not making money, why are you investing in them? That's literally the only thing it's so simple, but I guess people don't. They just say Netflix, oh, well, it's a debt company. It's a debt company. I mean, there's so much debt you can only put on the balance sheets that people are going to start to take look at. I mean, Goldman, J.P. Morgan, Morgan Stanley, they probably all bought here, and they're out. They sold on you. They sold on your ass when you bought that shit at 300. They're done, and that's why the volume's nothing compared to what it was back then, because the price has rallied so much, and you can see the volume is just flauntering off. I mean, regardless of what Lupo says, I say what I've done my research on, and banks, yeah, they'll sell their debt, and they'll get rid of their debt, and they'll get them off their balance sheets, but debt is still debt, and it's going to obviously have an effect on the lower and middle class and cause a recession. I mean, once you have an influx of debt and people start pulling debt and more debt with, fractional reserve lending, it just causes an increased inflation, and that's what quantitative easing was. Gold, even though gold is dropping, which is crazy, because gold was its own bubble. I say silver, in my honest opinion, that's what I invest in, because silver is always used. Everyone's using silver. They use it to make your iPhones and stuff, and you can see, I mean, silver has been on a consistent basis trading in the rough same range. But you see silver had a bubble. See that? But gold had a little pullback here and dropped. But I mean, I will see what happens, but I just know debt under personal debt is not good, and also debt under a company is not good regardless. And regardless what anyone else says, do your own research. I know silver's dropping, but silver's still going to go up. In the long run, silver's always going to go up. It's used in making technology. Your computer's using silver. What you're watching this on is using silver. But regardless, do your own research, Jackson. Learn. Don't just listen to me. Don't listen to Lupo. Don't listen to anyone. Do your research. When you borrow a dollar, put that dollar plus interest rate. Yeah. So let me give you a quick little explanation of how the Federal Reserve works. The Federal Reserve was created by J.P. Morgan, Rockefeller, and the Rothschilds. You guys probably know who that is. They made it to fixate, banking panics, and also to their own advantage. But it's a working system where they expand the economy with money and then depreciate it to, it's like expand and contract like a balloon, okay? They inflate things and contract it using interest rates. And after that, they can cause recessions. And that's why, the only big banks that are left are, Wells Fargo, J.P. Morgan Chase, and what's it called? Bank of America with HSBC, all these good things, they all play a role. And when you study the Federal Reserve, you will really understand this. So read into the Federal Reserve, how they work interest rates, and how you can use that to your advantage. No one's going to tell you about this. You don't learn. The reason why you don't learn about money in school is because it was created by the Rockefeller education. Read Rich Dad Poor Dad. He even tells you that. Rockefeller created the modern day schooling system. It's meant to teach you how to work for people, not work for yourself. And I mean, it's called capitalism, guys. You gotta capitalize on opportunity. If you can capitalize on making someone stupid for the rest of their life, he sure as hell did that. So, the Rockefellers know what they're doing. The Rockefellers do know what they're doing. And that's why you just study the history. I think gold will eventually peter out and go back up, but we'll see what happens. Right now, it's getting rejected here, and I think gold is still too overvalued on this bubble here. We'll see what happens. Once there's a dip, there'll be a dip. But I just invest in silver, honestly, because silver is always being used. Okay, it's used in your phone, and once silver starts petering out here, I'll start buying in more and more and more. But basically, as Ronnie already knows, quantitative easing, for anyone who doesn't know what it is pumping money into the economy. And that's what they did. They pumped it into the markets. I hope all you guys know that the Federal Reserve and the Federal Reserve and people who make your money, which are private banks, they were buying stocks. You know, like I forgot the name of the contract. Let's see that. Yeah, they think you're crazy. It's exactly, Ronnie. Oh my God, it feels like we know each other. Let's see. Well, I'll pull up shit that makes sense. Quantitative easing. Sorry, I'm not a great speller. The introduction of new money to the money supply by a central bank. So, QE was just adding more money. It's like putting a Band-Aid over something that needs surgery, if that makes sense. So, it's like you cut yourself and it needs stitches, or you cut yourself and the wound's big, and you put a Band-Aid over it. It might fix the problem, but it'll still get infected because it needs stitches. So quantitative easing is an unconventional monetary supply policy which central banks purchase government securities or other securities from the market in order to lower interest rate and increase money supply. This is what was going on for the longest of times here, guys. Quantitative easing increases the money supply by flooding financial institutions with capital in an effort to promote increased lending and liquidity. Quantitative easing is considered when short-term interest rates are approaching zero and also does not involve printing of new banknotes. So, if we go to interest rates, so we're getting 4 interest rate hikes this year, okay? It's starting in June. That's why I think a big drop is coming, because we're starting the interest rates regardless of if it's priced in by the market or not. They're going to raise interest rates, and they're going to raise them quickly, okay? So, trying to go to... One second, guys. I'm trying to find the actual site. Yeah, I mean, good luck with that. The Rothschilds are one of the most secluded families in the world. Let me see. I know there's a website for that. Does anyone know the website for the federal interest rates? Okay, yeah, this one. So you can see right here, as you can see, they raise interest rates, they decrease them. Look how low interest rates are now. Very, very low. Right when we go into a crash, interest rates are raised. I mean, does that, I hope that strikes something. Right here. You can see raise interest rates right here in 05. Going into 05 crash, we start raising interest rates here. Going in 2018, we get a crash, raise interest rates. Going into 2000, we get a crash. It's kind of like the same thing. You just got to know what to look for. It's an illusion. For anyone who doesn't know, money is an illusion. I know that sounds crazy, but it is an illusion. It's like a magic trick. Once you know the prestige to the magic trick, sounds like I'm talking crazy, I know, but know the prestige to the magic trick or the illusion, and you can find out how to use it to your advantage. So, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say here. So once the Fed, Ronnie knows this, once the Fed starts really raising interest rates quickly, people are going to start to panic, and they're going to get out of equities and start moving their money into silver and gold. And that doesn't happen till a crash happens. So it's like a slow accumulation. But to save your money, invest in assets, not liabilities. So don't invest in credit card debt. Don't invest in homes that you can't afford to pay off. So once the Federal Reserve starts raising these interest rates, you're going to start to see equities start to fall. And that's why, equities are beginning to fall. And it's happening very quickly. I mean, regardless, I'm not trying to predict the future. There's going to be people who say I'm wrong, and that's great. I just don't think we're going to hit new highs in the stock market. We've been hitting new highs for so long, and there's no bull market in period that's ran this long. And if you're naive to not even take a short here and not even do the research and base it off someone else's opinion, I mean, good luck with you, man. Good luck with you once they tell you, oh well, I saw this coming, I went short here, and you're fucked. So yeah, I think tomorrow we're gonna get a panic. You can see Netflix is starting to drop here. We'll look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's starting to drop again. You can see that. And it's funny enough that when Bitcoin drops, the stock market drops. I don't see that as ironic at all. I see that as it's correlated in a sense. Now it's not correlated to a T, but they definitely move with each other. Okay, and I do not neglect that at all. And this is forming a hanging man. So funny enough, hanging man right here on this chart, and then we have a hanging man here. And I guess my fear-mongering in the chat and TechBuds was not liked. I guess people blame me for a lot of people leaving. I mean, I was just trying to help. And we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll see what happens. Ronnie, I don't know about hyperinflation. I know the dollar is getting inflated by the Federal Reserve right now to kind of keep people calm. And usually, Ronnie, this is how I would expect precedents to occur. Is we're gonna have a decent summer. We'll have a shitty drop here soon, and then the summer it's gonna try to retest that into September and October. Things will come along that will get very shady stuff with government, shady stuff where people start panicking. You'll start hearing about default rates. We'll start hearing about student loans being called, regardless private or public. That money's owed to them, and if they don't get their money, people are gonna get mad. People are gonna get pissed. It's gonna start chaos. And then the markets will fall. And it's always, literally, any market crash has to do with debt and inflation and leverage and excessive borrowing instead of actually creating and generating wealth. That's it. That's why in a lot of Middle Eastern cultures they don't use interest, because interest is like, it kills people. It literally will strip you from inside out. It'll take all your money away. So yeah, you can see hanging man here. Hanging man right there, and I mean, just perfect hanging man. Perfect hanging man right there. Hanging man. So we'll see what happens, but I think the interest rates are going to be way too crazy. We'll look at the dollar right now, and a low dollar, a cheap dollar causes the markets to go up. From what I've been studying, obviously don't quote me on that, but you can see the dollar starting to go up, markets are going down. Dollar was so low here, and it didn't really correlate. You could see, I mean, the dollar was extremely high here in 2017, and it started dumping, and that's when equities were obviously flipped. I mean, equities, I mean, we're right here, so we'll go to, sorry if my screen's a little crazy. I'm trying to get better. So, if we look here, 2017, it was 2017. Dollar starts dropping, we start going up. We have a little pivot here, boom, and then we drop here, just continue dropping, and we have this little consolidation zone, and we pop while the market starts going down. So as the dollar rises, the market usually tends to fall, and I think the dollar is going to start dropping some more. So, and you can see, I mean, ever since the dollar was moved off the gold standard, I think it's been shit. I mean, it's just artificially pumped. And you can see cryptocurrency is doing the same thing. Cryptocurrency is not going to hold. You can see we just hit a new low. And I'm not trying to say this to scare you. I'm trying to say this to inform you. I don't have anyone to prove to or anyone to really state my facts. I already have, and they don't listen. It takes time for a panic or a crash to happen, but we literally dropped like crazy. We took away. So we dropped over 40 points today from high to low in one day. When the stock market, it took, I'm sorry, I get very passionate about this. It took us how many days, how many hours to push up? Look how fast we just took all that back. And look at the volume. Look at the volume. Huge. And we're about to just keep dropping. I'm short on Facebook. I wish I got more Facebook, but I don't have enough money. I'm still short on Ethereum. I'm trying to make as much money as I can, but it's hard. It's hard. Yeah, it's like a derivative. And I mean, cryptocurrency, the funny thing is cryptocurrency should be a hedge to inflation, but it's actually not. It's actually kind of helping inflation in a sense, because it's honestly transferring wealth from the dumb to the smart people. I mean, the fact that you can't short cryptocurrency is another reason. It's the same thing with Tulip Mania. As we can see here, tulip grows from bulbs, yada yada, 7 years. Good, whatever. Let's see, where does it say short sellers? Short selling was banned by the, what is this, EDICT? Edict of 1610, which was reiterated on or strengthened in 1621, 1630, and again 1636. Short sellers were not prosecuted under these, I guess, law, but the contracts were deemed unforceable. Okay, so you couldn't even short sell tulips, and that's why they ran forever. And you can see the tulip bubble just ran like crazy, and then just dropped like crazy into May, right back down. So this usually happens. It's no coincidence that the drops usually happen around February to December, and then happen again into March and May. And the stock market usually panics around October. I do JAFX, JAFX.com, my man. JAFX.com. You get short with extreme leverage. If you have to know how to manage your risk. And don't do one. You got to do like 0.01. So let me show you. You can see I'm short 0.02 Ethereum and short 0.01 Ethereum. That's 1 Ethereum right here, 2 Ethereum. I got 10 shares of Netflix short, 25 shares of Boeing short, and 30 shares of Facebook short. And it's basically, let me pull this over here so you don't see my account number. That's just not going to help. But yeah, you can see I'm short here. And these are the prices they're trading at, and this is the price I shorted at. I accidentally hit my stop, and I covered my Ethereum that was short at 727 with. It was aggravating very, but I mean, it is what it is, and you can see my history. I made $4,000 in profits, $7,000 in withdrawals, $3,000 deposits, but that's $4,000 in profits. How much I made using JAFX over the past 2 months. Yeah, but Ethereum, just not holding. Bitcoin, just not holding. It's all inflated. It's really all inflated. It's very easy. Once you study this, you can tell who's moving your market and who's not moving it. And once they find out ways to short this a little easier, it's gonna be great. We'll see how Boeing's holding up. That should panic tomorrow. Facebook just not holding up. And the funny thing is, let's talk about this. Since I do have some viewers here, and before I have to leave to work, is the funny thing is Facebook had that whole data breach, and it panicked. It panicked, and then everyone just thought, okay, well, Facebook's going back up. Great earnings from past quarter, because people just don't like to look back in the past. Great earnings, it runs right back, fills the gap, and gap fills always work in the stock market, especially like these type of gaps. Now, it does have another gap right here, and that's where I have it noted, and I think it's going to gap down. And that's why I shorted at 187, as seen on my account right here. Short Facebook 187.01. Okay, I don't want to show my account number, but 183.60. So basically, I just think people just forgot that Facebook was selling my information and using my information without moral or ethical dilemma. It was an ethical dilemma, and everyone just forgot about it just because Facebook's going back up again. I don't think Facebook's worth this much. The website has lost touch with millennials since about 2011 or 12, and I think it's going to start to lose touch with other people too. Yeah. No, I don't. I don't do any work in LPP. I just do my own shit, man. I try to go on YouTube and help some people. I talk bearish, yeah, because I don't see any potential in the markets going up, and people will hate me and criticize me until that happens, and they'll go, oh, well, Ferris, you didn't, how much did you make? And do all this, and then they're just going to hate me for it. It's okay. Bitcoin's dropping. Ronnie, we'll talk later. Thank you for coming and joining. But anyone, before I leave to work, I want to just say, take the time to research quantitative easing. Okay, just go here, look up what quantitative easing actually does. If the drawbacks, we'll talk about it. If the central bank increases money supply too quickly, it can cause inflation. What's going on? The inflation numbers came out and they weren't as expected. That's fine, but the interest rates are going to really cause people to panic, I believe, based off the fact that there's so much money out there on debt and people are not paying it back. And the people who owe the most money on credit cards and debt are millennials, and that is, yeah. Oh, Ronnie, you want to send me some LTC, baby? Ooh, I'll take your LTC and I'll get my US dollar. Nah, I'm playing. Here, if you want it. I mean, if we got ways to short these cryptocurrencies, I feel like they would have been done already. That's my LTC if you want to send any. I feel like if you could have shorted cryptocurrency, it would have been done already, like easily, where everyone knew about it. So, let's talk quantitative easing very quickly. Quantitative easings, we had, I think, about 3 quantitative easings. Don't quote me on that. It was supposed to be 4. But it's basically they're just pumping some extra money into the market, into assets, into equities, and a lot of these stocks just ran like crazy. All right, let's see. Come on, I gotta close the stock market here. It's just not helping me. Hey, thanks, Ronnie. Appreciate it. So, drawbacks of quantitative easing. When the economy stalls and the central bank wants to encourage more economic growth, it buys government bonds. That's exactly what they're doing. This lowers short-term interest rates and increases the money supply. This strategy loses effectiveness when interest rates approach 0. Exactly what's going on. That's why they're going to raise it. At which point, banks have to implement other strategies to kickstart the economy. Another strategy they can use is target commercial bank and private sector assets in an attempt to spur economic growth by encouraging banks to lend money. Note that quantitative easing is often referred to QE. Okay, so we go here. This happens, so central banks increase money supply too quickly can cause inflation. This happens when there's increased money but only a fixed amount of goods available for sale when the money supply increases. The central bank's independent organization responsible for monetary policy is considered independent from the government. This means that while a central bank can give additional funds to banks, they can't force the banks to lend this money to individuals and businesses. Okay? If this money does not end up in the hands of consumers, the lending to the banks will not impact the money supply and therefore will be ineffective at stimulating the economy. Another potential negative consequence is that quantitative easing generally causes a depreciation in the value of the home country's currency. Depending on the country, this can be negative. It is good for a country's exports but bad for imports and can't result in the country's residents having to pay more money for imported goods. Just happening. So, they're doing quantitative easing. I think it's gonna definitely causing definitely some form of a panic, and it will happen. Some people will say I'm crazy. Some people will agree or disagree. You have the right to. But that's what I believe is going to happen. Once they raise these interest rates in June, people will start taking notice. And, I mean, I have credit cards, and I could see that there's 0 interest rates. And once those interest rates kick into 20%, people are going to get killed. People are literally going to get killed because they put... You notice in school how people put things off to the last minute? It's the same thing with money. It's the same thing with money. So, I just want you guys to understand that. Educate yourself, read books, be aware of what's going on, and how financial panics in the past have happened, and how that can lead to a financial panic in the future. So, we'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm about to bounce. I got work here, so I hope this live stream was informative to some people. If not, I'll keep doing them. I'll play some advertisements here just to make some extra cash because, I mean, I do need money. But that's all. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to bounce, guys. Again, I'm still short biased on Bitcoin and a lot of these stocks. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Ronnie, thank you for the Bitcoin. I'll do a stream tomorrow. I'm off from school, so I only work. So we'll do a stream tomorrow, and we'll talk about it and give you guys a market update, and we'll go from there. All right, everyone, have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace out, Ronnie. Peace out, Alex. Peace out, Laura. Peace out, Jackson, and everyone else in here. I'll catch you guys.